funny. You always say it's the perfect topic. It's always the perfect topic,
Isn't
right?
it? Isn't it great how that works?
It never fails. You always say that. Yeah, it's funny.
It is.
It's true.
It's perfect. Hold on one second. Let me just, I have to update this for 1 second. Okay. I'm just putting, if I don't put the date on it right now, then I can't identify which one it is. I've learned that now. Okay, here we go. Share. I am mastering this though. Okay, so share screen. Slideshow. Okay, sorry. It's for some reason it's going very slowly. Okay, there we go. There we go. Well, welcome to Unity Radiant Light. This is the week, the power of power and the 12 powers. I'm looking forward to this topic today. It is perfect, as always. It's perfect for our for what we're all, you know, a lot of us are talking about and dealing with. So this week, today we have the service. Tomorrow, the Monday night book study is on vacation until September 14th. We're off for 6 weeks. So everybody enjoy your vacation. I'll miss you all. We are reading, in the bulletin, I did post a the bulletin for, wow, oh, my computer's shutting down, sorry. I did post the book that we're gonna be reading this summer, so you can go ahead and you can look at it. It's the, I'm sorry, I'm having some problems here with the share. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yeah, nothing's changed since you've been saying you're having a problem. Now
Okay.
it's gone.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It just did it to me, so apparently.
Okay.
All right. So that's okay. And it disappeared here. So we're gonna be doing a summer read on Tuesday nights. Joe, why don't you talk about Tuesday night?
We're doing the 12 Powers class on Tuesday night from 6 to 7 on Zoom. Anyone is welcome, and the invitation is open. And we're having a great time with the class, and we're really getting into the subject. We're using the 12 Powers by Charles Fillmore and Power Up by Paul Hasselbeck. And so we're really getting into the material. We're talking about the material, and we're activating these powers so we can be the best person we can be and express our Christ nature. So I'm having a good time, and anyone's welcome.
That's perfect, Joe. Thank you. And we are on Wednesday nights. Oh, that's why it happened. Okay, I had 3 people come into the waiting room. Sorry. For some reason, I can't. It's one thing I haven't figured out is how it won't freeze up. So on Wednesday nights, we are studying the quest together. We're having wonderful meetings, and this week it's been particularly powerful with the power of love. So if you'd like to join us for any topics, you can always ask, and I'll start listing what the topics are. So you can come in for all the classes or just one of them, and we meet from 6 to 7 on Zoom. And Jesse, how about you with yoga?
Ooh.
Okay, so Jesse's been doing yoga on yoga classes on Facebook on Wednesday nights. At 6 o'clock, it's a standing position yoga, and at 7, it's seated position yoga. So there's yoga for everybody. If you can't make those times, you can go to his page on Facebook, and I try to share him on my page too, and the Unity page. But on and you can watch you can watch the repeats on there too. Nicole, are you there?
Thank you. I muted myself. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I
am.
Okay, Nicole, you want to talk about what's happening with the homeless people project?
So I am taking donations again of all the supplies they might need. I'm actually going pretty soon to go hand out a whole bunch of stuff. We've separated everything into bins for each size, so hopefully that'll limit the amount of touching those bins are getting. And but we're looking for donations of clothing, including socks and underwear, Come the fall, we will be looking for, blankets and coats and hats and gloves and mittens, all that stuff. But we're also taking food. Pretty much, if you have some stuff, we can probably find a place for it. I mean, I've even been locating furniture and bringing it to people with new apartments. So if you've got stuff you don't need, let me know. We're also looking for bins.
Great, thank you, Nicole. Next Sunday is we're going to be doing, providing lunch for the homeless population, and this is the first time we'll be able to do it with sternos and actually serve at the site. So if anybody wants to come and help, it's available. We'll be cooking during the week. Still not cooking at the church. We're still doing certain individual parts of the meal from home, but we'll be out there to serve at 1 o'clock next Sunday. Did I forget any announcements?
You covered it.
Okay, thanks. All right, then sit back and enjoy. If you're going to sing along, if you wouldn't mind muting yourself so we don't have it all coming at different times, but enjoy.
God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me, guides my way through every moment of the day. Wherever we are, God is wherever I said that is well.
That's a perfect way to start our morning. Joe's going to lead us in the daily in the opening prayer this morning.
I invite everyone to just, if you feel comfortable, close your eyes and just take a deep inhalation and bring your whole focus and concentration to the very here and the very now, in this present moment. And then just exhale any list of things to do, any tension or stress you may sense, just exhale it out. Once again, take a deep breath in, breathe in this very present moment, being fully present, bringing your focus and concentration to what's happening, and then exhaling any tension or stress you may sense and letting go of your things, the list of things to do for now. We recognize this one power, one presence, God, the good, which is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, and it's part of us. It's within us. It is that spark of divinity within. And the 12 powers is one way to express our Christ nature and become a better person and be the best person we can be and feel and live our highest potential. And so today, the power of power, also known as dominion and mastery, we master, control, and have dominion over our thoughts and emotions. And we create the lives that we are so filled with joy and happiness. Our cup overflows. And so we engage in the material. We allow Cherie this morning to bless us with the message and how we can bring this more into our lives and activate it, and where we are empowered with dominion and mastery. And it's the power of our voice to claim the truth, the throat center, the disciple Philip. And so we allow service to unfold with ease and grace, each piece of it in perfect divine order, the music, the message, and everyone involved. Thank you, God, for Unity Radiant Light and the means to meet via Zoom in the midst of this crisis. Thank you. We are blessed. Thank you, God. And so it is.
Amen. Thank you, Joe.
No problem.
Okay, here we go. Lori will be sharing the daily word with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to say, when I was getting ready to read this, sometimes something hits you and it hits you right in the throat and you like get a lump in your throat. And this is something that I've read, I don't know how many times in my life. And I'm just going to preview it right here. Even when his disciples deserted him as he was crucified, Jesus asked God to forgive them. I don't know why this morning it brought tears to my eyes. So I'm going to start. Compassion. I am kind and compassionate. Seeking to grow in compassion, I look to the example of Jesus. Gospel stories give many examples of Jesus showing compassion by demonstrating keen awareness of the needs and feelings of friends and strangers alike. I remember learning that Jesus did not turn away from social outcasts. He healed them and shared meals with them. His compassion fed a multitude and restored wine to a wedding reception. Upon learning that his dear friend had died, Jesus wept. Even when his disciples deserted him as he was crucified, Jesus asked God to forgive them. As I desire to grow in compassion, I know that my words and even simply my loving presence provide comfort. I listen deeply with my heart as well as my ears. Let each of you look not to your own interests, but to the interests of others. Philippians 2:4. And Our affirmation, again, is compassion. I am kind and compassionate.
Thank you, Lori. You know, it is funny every week when I look at the daily word, I close my eyes for a few moments and go into the silence, someone's face always appears to me. And like it was yours, Lori, for this one. And oftentimes people will say to me afterwards, wow, there's something in that that just really hit me. So thank you.
Nice.
We have several ways that you can put in prayer requests at Unity Radiant Light. If you know, you can list it in the chat screen. You can, Joe copies them, whatever comes in. You can also email them to us. We get them through text, Facebook, phone calls, whatever your need is. We take those needs and those prayers and we pray on them for 30 days. And then we send them on to Silent Unity for an additional 30 days of prayer. And we hold all prayer requests in confidence. If you can't reach Joe or I, if you would want to talk to somebody in person, we're usually available. But if you can't get a hold of us, you can always call Silent Unity. They're there 24/7. The lights have been on since 1889. And they always have been available. We didn't have telephones then, but the light was on and they would take prayer requests, whatever way that they came through the years. This next song, if you guys just want to mute, I'm getting some feedback, so if you just want to mute the mic. The next song is perfect for today's talk. I heard it and I said, I absolutely have to play this.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show. 'Cause love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision.
like to invite you to keep your mics muted and to say the Lord's Prayer with me. Together, O thou, from whom the breath of life comes, who fills all realms of sound, light, and vibration. May your light be experienced in my utmost holiest, your heavenly domain approaches. Let your will come true in the universe just as on earth. Give us wisdom for our daily need. Detach the karma that binds us, like we let go of the guilt of others. Let us not be lost in superficial things, but let us be freed from that which keeps us from our true purpose. From you comes the all-working will, the lively strength to act, the song that beautifies all and renews itself from age to age. Sealed in trust, faith, and truth, I confirm with my entire being. So today we're continuing our series, our 12 Power series, and we are talking about the power of power. So I heard a story about a man who was late for a really important meeting, and he was frantically looking for a parking place. Though he was an atheist, he finally cried out in desperation. He said, God, if you find me a parking place, I'll believe in you. And just at that moment, miraculously, a parking space opened up right in front of the building he was trying to go into. And as the man quickly pulled the car into the space, he said, that's okay, God, I got it. I thought that was a great joke. I had to share it. So the power of power, we talk about that. It kind of sounds redundant, but it's anything but that. As we've traveled through this journey, we've experienced power of faith, and we know faith underlies all of the powers, the 12 powers. We talked about the power of strength, the power of wisdom and / judgment, the power of love last week. And this week we're at the power of power. And the power of power is one of the 12 powers, and like the rest of them, it's part of the collective. So it's like having the ocean, and the power of power is like the drop we talk about. You can have that drop that expresses individually, but it becomes part of the ocean and it all works together. So it's a very important power too, that's underlying the decisions that we make. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little while. The power of power is self-mastery and spiritual presence. The affirmation for the week is, I have the power to create my world. And the location in the body is in the throat, the root of the tongue, right back, because we're going to talk about the power of the spoken word. The apostle is Philip. And the color for the week is, and I see a few people have it on, the color for the week is purple. And the reason that the color purple was chosen was because it represents, it used to represent the royalty, and it also represents a lot of spiritual mastery. So it was very important as part of this. And when we start talking about the power of power, a lot of people get confused by it. They think of the power of transaction. You know, we hear a lot in society today, well, that person's powerful because they have money. That person's powerful because they have a really important job. That person's powerful because they work in the government. And they say, so they associate that power of power with that. And that's really intellectual power. What we're talking about here today is spiritual power. And spiritual power is simply inherited from God. It's part of who we are. It's something that we come in with, and we have it within us. We don't need to reach outside of ourselves to get it. Sometimes we open ourselves up to the outside to remind ourselves of who we are. But what we have with that power is already here. And God gave us dominion. That's what we're talking about. Power is dominion. In Genesis, 1:28. So 1:26 to 28 is, and I talk about this a lot, is then God said, let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the wild animals of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So God created humankind in his image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female, he created them. God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. So God gave us dominion. It's right there in the first chapter of the Hebrew scriptures, the Old Testament. It's there. But where we get confused about it is some say that because God gave us dominion, they have the right to do whatever they want to the planet and to those on it. But when we look to the God energy and the source energy and to who we really are, it has nothing to do with us being bullies. It has nothing to do with us exploiting the planet or people on it or animals on it. They miss the point. So I think the two words that really could be used well in this is good stewardship. God gave us dominion to use the power of wisdom, which we've already talked about, to be good stewards of this planet. Because when God gave us dominion, because we're made in the image and likeness of God, and that's a really, really important concept. We're not made to look like God. We're made in the image of God, which means that in every cell of our body, we have God. And it's the great I am. It's whatever you want to call it, source, the quantum field. The image to be in God's will, not our own will where we may, where we're using ego decisions and judgments. But God's will, the quantum field, the goodness. God created us to be God's masterpiece. You see, there's a big decision there. So with this power of power, we have the decision to step into God's will, to be in the image and likeness of God, and therefore be God's masterpiece. There's a big difference. We say, well, how can we do that? How do we accomplish that? Simply, we're talking about it over 12 weeks this summer. We're activating the 12 powers within us. When we activate faith and we activate strength and wisdom, love, power, imagination, will and understanding and zeal, and all the other ones, all the 12 powers, we're activating and remembering who we are and opening ourselves up to be God's masterpiece, to live it. We are always God's masterpiece. Do we always live it when we're working in free will? No. Sometimes we're more ego-driven. So this is a great opportunity for us to claim that power that's within us, to integrate the 12 powers into our lives, and allow the creative source to help us accomplish this. Why did we ever get created? Why did Source create us? God swimming in oneness. But if God swims in that oneness, in that absolute power, does God ever really completely know itself? And that's why we were created, because by creating all of us, these infinite forms that we are, that we come in here to be, and through this, and through our expressions, because we're each a different expression of God, we're having different experiences, God really gets to know itself. Because we are God, we are part of God, we are in the soup. We're helping Source know itself. And the only answer that we have to give is, how are we going to express that? Are we going to express it by living in ego? Are we going to express it by being the best Christ we can be? These are the choices that we're making all the time. And this is what's happening in society around us. But when you think about this whole thing and how we're created and that we're part of this masterpiece, it's really amazing, isn't it? It's really just, we start to open ourselves up to so much more. Because as we begin to grasp this, our minds, everything opens up, infinite awareness. You can't help but to have it open up within you. So it's through this gift of dominion that we will be able to come here and choose to be good stewards of this planet, choose to take care of all the animals and the plants and the planet and all the people, we can choose to do that. And we can do this through the power of power, not through the manipulating source of power. So this is one of the greatest gifts that we've been given, this spiritual power of power. So when we talked about briefly a few minutes ago, we looked to see where this spiritual power is. It's in the back of our throats. It's at the base of our tongue. And that's why the power of the spoken word is associated with it. So the color we talked about is purple. And I think that when I think about the color purple, has everybody here, or is it mostly everybody seen the movie The Color Purple? I think most of us have. Remember in the end when Shug and Zeal were walking through that field of purple flowers? That's where we started to get a clue about what the movie was about. And Shug said, I think God gets pissed off when we don't notice the color purple. And when you look at that for what it is, and you start to look at it in, take it apart spiritually, metaphysically, the color purple, we can translate that into God gets pissed off when we don't recognize the spiritual gifts and mastery we're born with. Now we know that God doesn't get pissed off. God doesn't have the human attributes, the personality attributes with that. But God's within us. So maybe there's a part of us inside of us that gets annoyed at our lack of spiritual awareness, that when we don't recognize our own gifts. Or maybe it's just that part of us that's trying to give us that nudge to awaken us to these spiritual gifts. But when I see the color purple and I get reminded about the movie, I always think about that. There's the reminder right there for us to become more aware of who it is we really are. And to understand that power is a slippery slope in so many ways, because we don't want to confuse it with ego. Because once we do, we really start to lose that connection with that spiritual power. Or one of the other things that we do is we give it away. We don't understand who we really are. And in the last series that we did was Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements. And remember when Don Miguel Ruiz was talking about the process of domestication, that we learn to follow the human rules when we're very young. We are born into these families. We're taught the family's rules. We're taught society's rules. We're taught rules at school. And we're trained to give our power away at a very young age, because this is how it's supposed to be. It gets shaped, it gets molded, it gets depressed or repressed by others into that beautiful wild spirit that may not look like itself anymore. So when we activate this power of power, what we're asking is that we activate that part of us, that beautiful, wild, spiritual part of us, part that expresses joy, the part that is really authentic. And that's the power of power, stepping back into our authenticity. So we're going to, by doing this and going through this exercise, we're going to help to change our early definitions of what culture is and society is. By activating this power of power, we're changing our lives. I remember when I finally stood up and claimed my spiritual authority. This is when I was in college. I was a junior and I was studying criminal justice and sociology. I was becoming a social worker. And I had to take a constitutional law class. And I had a professor that used to bully me a lot in school. It used to drive me crazy. And he would make fun. He'd start the class by making fun of my name, which my maiden name is Lovett. So they say, well, Cherie Lovett, you're like a French can-can dancer or a prostitute or whatever he wanted to say for that week. And I let him get away with it because I was afraid of my grade. I didn't want to stand up to him because I was afraid of the power that he had over me. And one day I just had it. I had written about one of the constitutional law cases, and I had a really solid argument with it. And what I felt was really solid. And I'd spent a lot of time on it, and he started to make fun of it. He was mocking me over it about, well, what would a can-can dancer know, or whatever it was he was doing. And I finally said, no more. And when I stood up to him, he mentioned to me, well, I have the power with your grade. And I said, I don't care. I worked hard on this. This is what my argument is. This is why I really believe in what I wrote. I made my arguments. I wasn't allowing myself to be bullied anymore. And at the end, he said, which really surprised me, He said, well, this is the real Cherie. I've been waiting for you to come out all semester. Well done. And I was just shocked because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be done with school. I'm going to be kicked out. Here are the things. And here he was just trying to draw me out to stand up for myself. He was asking me to step into my power. And I didn't really realize it at the time. Could it be that simple? At least in that occurrence it is. It's not always. But that was my spiritual turnaround. And I didn't always win all my arguments. But it felt good to stand in my truth. I may have to come out of that. Okay. So how does it feel when you claim your spiritual truth? How does it feel when you don't? Robin, I think you need to.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, you mute yourself. Okay, sorry about that. So how does it feel? It doesn't, it often doesn't feel right to us. That's our spiritual power asking us to come into alignment. When we feel, like we talked about with spiritual wisdom, we feel it in the pit of our stomach. That's our authentic self telling us, hey, something's not right here. Come into the truth. Maybe even the voice differs when that voice that you hear that tells you that. So we have to really listen to that. But the power, we have to stop. We have to step into it, even step into the silence and listen and say, what do I need to do to come into alignment? Because when we're asked to be our authentic self, this is who you came here to be. We can't wait. Like my professor said to me, well, you finally showed up. And he was baiting me for a long time. It was at the end of the semester. But I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that it was my right to step into my power. So if we want to hide our nervousness, sometimes we have to hide it. I'm going to have to just step out of this real quick because we had someone come in. I'll come back into sharing screen. Okay. There we go. I learned about this, when I really thought about people that were more powerful than me, was with the actor J.T. Walsh. He passed away, and when I was the executive director of the Diabetes Foundation. J.T. had acted in 30 or 40 movies. You might recognize him, and he was great fun. He had a nephew in Rhode Island. He was from Rhode Island and had a nephew in Rhode Island who had diabetes, and he couldn't, so he decided to be our spokesperson for the Diabetes Foundation. So he used to come to all of our events. And can you hold on one second? I'm having a little issue here with someone trying to come in. All right. Sorry about this. I don't know what we're going to do about this. But JT would come to all of our events, and he was great fun. He was very entertaining. And I got to know him very, very well over the years that he was with us. And JT died when he was 53. He had a heart attack, sudden heart attack. And it could be all, I used to give him a hard time about, the things he would eat. And he wasn't sleeping. He was working all the time, acting all the time. But he became a great friend. So after he passed away, his family asked if I would give the eulogy from the nonprofit perspective, what JT did for the community. And when I decided that, okay, I would do it, I was going to be doing it in Rhode Island. And I was relieved because I found out in Los Angeles, the people that were eulogizing him at the service were Robin Williams and Goldie Hawn and Jack Nicholson. And I was like, whew, I dodged that bullet because I didn't have to come out after them. So you get the picture. But when I was at the Rhode Island service, I realized that I was coming on after Ed Begley Jr., who was very articulate and funny. So I had to go out onto the stage after him, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to be able to do to follow that? Because I really want to express how grateful we were to JT, and I had some really funny stories about him. But it was in that moment that I decided, as I was stepping on that stage, I just took a deep breath in and I claimed my power. And the first thing I did was I was honest about it. I said, wow, I had to follow that. Everybody was laughing because they realized that it was going to be tough. But then I just allowed that power to really activate more within me. And I told stories about JT and people laughed and then clapped at the end. And Ed Begley Jr. came up after me and told me how much he enjoyed it. And it turned out to be a wonderful experience. And I had that choice. I had to make that decision, as we do with the Power of Power. I reached that moment where I had to decide, I'm going to follow this wonderful speaker, but I'm going to tell my truth, and I'm going to tell the truth about who JT was and how wonderful he was and how funny he was. And I was able to do that with the Power of Power. So we have those choices. We have the experiences. And the only thing we really have to remember when we're talking about the Power of Power is we don't want to try to manipulate anybody with it. We want to do this in a way that we can express this wonderful power from our spiritual, authentic self, and just be you, because that's who you were here. That's who you were made. And God doesn't make junk. God makes masterpieces. So it's allowing yourself to do this. It reminds me of one of the stories, one of my favorite biblical stories, and it's in all three Gospels. So we know that when they're in all three Gospels, there's truth to it, definitely truth to it. And you remember the story about the woman who was kind of following along the crowd with Jesus. Jesus was there to heal a lot of people, and as this woman stood on the side, she had been bleeding for 12 years, and she had been to every healer she could go to. She had spent all of her money. She had no money left. And she couldn't get beyond this problem. And she knew that if she could somehow get to the master, that she really felt and she believed and she had faith that she could be healed. But she looked around him and there was this huge crowd. And she heard that, people saying, oh, please heal my daughter. Please heal me. Please heal my mother. Please heal whoever it was, whatever it was, please help me, Master. She heard all these and she thought, well, I'm going to try to get close to him. But at the same time, somebody said, my daughter's over here and needs you, Master. He's going to die. She's going to die. So that Jesus started to turn to that. And this woman's like, I have no energy left. I've been bleeding for 12 years. It's just taken everything out of me that I can. Can I try to get close to him? And she made that decision. She claimed her power of power. And she moved into the crowd, knowing that she could be knocked over, trampled, because this was a huge crowd. And she found her way close enough to Jesus so that she could touch his robe. It's all she needed. She didn't need his attention. She had the faith that if she could just touch him, she would be healed. And she did get close enough, and she touched him. And at that same moment that she touched him, she felt overwhelmed, not by how much energy she had lost, not by the fact that she couldn't get his attention. She was overwhelmed with this feeling that something had happened. Something inside her had changed, and she knew it. And she knew that could it be the possibility that just by touching this man, I'm healed. And Jesus felt the power go out of him. And he stopped and he said, who touched me? Who did it? Well, the disciples were like, well, Master, teacher, rabbi. You were in a huge crowd of people. Anybody could have touched you. People were jostling all around. I'm sure they touched you. He said, no, this was different. I felt power leave me. And this woman thought, oh my gosh, well, I'm caught. And she walked forward very bravely, and she admitted that it was her. And what Jesus said to her was the most amazing thing. He said, take heart, my daughter. Your faith has made you whole. He didn't say, I healed you. He said, your faith has made you whole. So what he was saying to that woman is that she had reached down inside of her authentic self, recognized who she is, and her faith made her well. How often can we do that? No matter what the situation in our life, we can turn and open up to that and have our faith make us well. And whether it's our physical bodies, we're having the healing circle after service, whether it's prosperity issues, love, whatever it is, this power of power is there. This power of power that we have. makes us whole, because we were never not whole. And Jesus was saying that it's within us all the time. And this is what the basis of unity was founded on. So when we go into the healing circle after service, our faith will make us heal. When we activate the power of power in a few minutes, our faith will make us well. Unless we give it away, we give away the power. Unless we use it to dominate or manipulate or use it in a way that's not spiritual. Now, Charles Fillmore talked a lot about the power of the spoken word. And basically the power of this word is to realign us. Realign us with who we really are. To remember what we already have inside of ourselves. When we say, we affirm, we make affirmations, I am healed, I am whole. When we say we have faith, we're claiming our power. We're claiming it through the power of the spoken word, but we're really claiming it by our feelings and our beliefs. I am financially free. I'm wholly healed. These are all the things that we can claim, and it's our inheritance to have. So why don't we do that with this power of power this week? Let the floodgates open. Let us allow us to shine, to really shine. Allow us to really step into that authentic power of power. So we welcome it, we bless it, and we're going to open ourselves up to things that are beyond our imagination. But I'm not going to go into that because that's the power we're going to talk about next week. And at Unity Radiant Light, as a collective group, no matter whether we're meeting in person or people are joining us via the computer, we are a group. We're without walls. And we can be that beacon of light in the world, in a world that sometimes falls into chaos. We can be the place where truth resides, a place that people feel drawn to. It's a place where true healing happens. We can feel it, we can see it, we can claim it. And we know that each of you is a blessing to this world. Each of you is a blessing to our community. And by coming together in this collective, we're asking you to let that light shine through. Let that power shine through. So the simple truth that we're taking with us today is that the power resides within us, nowhere else. We have everything we already need. We just need to claim it. It's all inside of us. So let's align with this truth of our being. Let's look at what Florence Scovel-Shin said. She said it's our wand. This power is our wand. The words you speak create your own destiny. So let that power of spoken word, let that power be your wand. Use it. You know, as with Harry Potter, use it on the muggles. Use it whatever you need to use it. But let it be with power. And let's say this together. Power is our wand. The words you speak create your own destiny. Say it like you mean it. Feel it. And allow it to flow through you. Because that's what the power of power is about. And as we feel this, I know and I pray and hope for each one of you that you step into your full power, that you align with this, that you allow yourself, your authentic, beautiful, magnificent self to shine through. So have a wonderful week. Think back. We're going to go through the activation now. And we're going to use this to springboard us into the power of power so we can create and continue to create our own destiny. So as we join in our meditation affirmation, we say, I am open and receptive to the spirit of truth, healing in me what needs to be healed and revealing to me what needs to be revealed. I just invite you to close your eyes, and I'm going to play a song for us to go into meditation with. But you just close your eyes and listen to the words and feel them inside of yourself. I just invite you to take a nice deep breath in, all the way down. And as you release, just to release any anxieties and doubts, and whatever may be distracting you. And we'll take the next deep breath in. And we feel the energy coming in from the crown chakra and opening up at the base of our feet. As we breathe out, we breathe that energy, we share it back out with the universe. As we breathe like this, we feel the oneness that we are. Who are you? That's the question we're asking today, is who are you? And I'm not talking about your roles, such as your mother or father, son or daughter. I'm talking about who you are. Who is your authentic self? Who is this masterpiece that God created? And really ask the question, who have you come here to be? Inspirational person, a path changer, leader to change, an advocate, teacher, healer, musician. And just sit with that for a moment as you allow those answers to come to you. And as these answers are flowing through us, or maybe not yet, that's okay. They will. We just feel the area in the back of our throat, at the base of our tongue, as we activate this power. We feel the change. We feel that this Christ in us is calling forth the disciple, Philip, to help us to activate this faculty of power, dominion. And we feel our resolute will to change this, which we'll be talking about at a later date. We know that we are claiming this power to become the best Christ that we can be. And just sit into the silence as we feel this power of power activating within us, through us and as us. How do you see yourself and who you are? Whatever you see yourself as, be the change as you wish to see in the world. Be it, find the good in everything, and let that love fill your heart and expand. Share it back with the world. Be positive. Declare who you are. Declare it now. Declare that you are it. And then we can move into the stillness with it. If we ask for ego-free guidance from our masters, guides and masters, we will receive it. We can go into the stillness and it's there waiting for us. Because when you ask Source that this power that's in every cell of your body, every cell outside of your body, is there for us, ask to be shown the way, and you will receive the answer. Have faith in that, just as that woman had faith enough to touch Jesus' robe. to remember that you're creating your life and your world. And if you feel yourself going off course, then just make a simple course adjustment. Declare it. You can use the power of the spoken word at any time to bring us back. As we feel this power activated within us, we will shine it on the world, and we will be it. And for this, we're so grateful. And with this power of powers, we declare this. We can use that power now to say a person or situation's name. We can pray together for healing. For all those that have been impacted by the coronavirus, we declare health. We declare healing right now. The floor is open.
Healing for me, Tricia, and a lot of guidance and blessings and everything goes smoothly for my procedure this week. Thank you.
Teresa Marzella.
To be able to to be able to reach out to every woman who's feeling lost in their own body because of weight or depression, to be able to reach out to them and let them know that there's another way. There's not to give up, not to give in to those negative thoughts. And for my brother Gilbert.
To find a adequate replacement for my son as his first sitter.
I pray that we always stay in God, that we always believe in the power that's inside of us, and that no matter what, we love ourselves, starting with just who we are first before anybody else, so that we can love to the fullest.
As we feel this power of power activated within ourselves, and as each individual's expressed it in their power, they stood in their authentic selves. For the people that are here today, those who can't be with us, and for all those we're holding in prayer, we claim it. We claim that this is done, that every cell in their bodies are working in perfect and divine order for prosperity in every area of their lives. Lives filled with joy and peace, and that we see each other as we truly are, that image that comes from love. We are love. And we claim the power to be that. As we hold the world in our mind's eye, we envelop it with these feelings of love and healing, and we see it right. And know that all is in perfect and divine order, and we claim it. And for this, we are so grateful, and so it is.
So it is.
At Unity Radiant Light, we appreciate the love offerings and donations that have helped us out always, and especially through these past few months. And even though we're not meeting in person, we still have additional ways to make love offerings. UnityRadiantLight.org, the donate button, or you can mail a check to Norwich, to my home, where we can deposit it. I know that these funds are being used to reach out to our community, to expand, to be that beacon of our communities. And we take a moment now as we claim prosperity in each person's lives. You can place your hand on your heart if you like. We feel that gratitude as we say, divine love flowing as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We are so grateful for all the prosperity in our lives from every area. We know that prosperity is more than just financial. It's in all the gifts that we receive. It's in this ability, this power that we have within ourselves to light it up and to share it with the world. That is prosperity. And we're so grateful to our Creator for giving us, endowing us with these gifts, for the Fillmores and all those who came before us to teach us these things, and to our beautiful way shower, Jesus the Christ, for what he taught, what he left us, this blueprint, that we can use it to enjoy a wonderful world here, that we can use it to express and be ourselves, to be the best Christ we can be. And for this, we are so grateful, and so it is. I just invite you all to unmute your mic so we can bless the people of the world as we declare it with our power of power.
Yes.
We say to all the people of the world, we love you,
We
Bless you.
we appreciate you, and we behold Christ in you. Yes. And this next song, actually, we can say the prayer for protection afterwards. I put it in the wrong order, but the next song, you can sing along if you want, but just go out and shine that light of power.
Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Step out and take a chance. Walk the talk, join the dance. Relax, enjoy the ride. Let kindness be your guide. You got to go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. Go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. One voice, one hand, one heart. Wanna change, just make a start. We're one big family. What's good for you is good for me. Come on, go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine.
Ooh, shine and dance. Let's say our prayer of protection together. I am the light of God. I am the love of God. I am the power of God. I am the presence of God. And wherever we are, God is. And all is well. That's right. So, Armani, my dog's praying with us apparently. So anybody who wants to stay for the healing circle can stay. The people that are running the healing circle, Linda's leading it. We're going to step out and pray in for a couple minutes. So you guys can stay here, and then we'll come back and we'll do the healing circle. Linda, do you have anything you want to add?
No, just we'll start off when we come back, just getting you centered, and then Cherie will do the meditation. Lori and I will be sending out Reiki. Robin and Joe will be holding space, sending light, and like I said, Cherie will do the meditation, and you'll just be in a place for healing.
Cool.
How long is it?
As long as we want it, Jess. That's
20
up to
minutes.
Okay.
That's up to God.
It's about
No.
20 minutes, Jesse.
Okay.
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes. I'm just messing.
Okay.
Great.
Either way is fine.
All right, good. All right, Linda, you ready for us to move you out? Any questions, anyone, before we go?
No. Go good.
Um,
All right. Then we will see you all in a few minutes. Well, people are here that I didn't see before. That's great. So you're using the password. It's working well?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Yay, that's good. Okay.
It didn't ask me for the password. I just went. But you had to let me in though. Somebody had to let me in.
hello.
Hello. All right, I'm going to take the healers out to the circle. Enjoy chatting with each other.
Okay,
And I'm stopping